Welcome to Bookish English. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English learning stories. Now let me ask you something very important. Have you ever wondered why some people understand English easily, while others struggle even after years of study? Have you ever felt that you are learning English but still cannot understand real conversations? What if I tell you that the missing key is something very simple, something you already do every day, but not in the right way? Yes, I am talking about listening. Today, you will discover the real power of listening and how it can change your English forever. But stay with me till the end, because what you learn today might completely transform the way you learn English. Chapter 1. Welcome back. Now let us begin the real journey. A simple journey, but a powerful one. I want you to think about something very honestly. When you listen to English, what happens inside you? Do you feel calm or do you feel confused? Do the words make sense or do they sound like noise? If English sounds like noise, then this is where your journey truly begins. Many learners make the same mistake. They think English is about rules. They think English is about memorizing long lists of words. They think English is about speaking fast. So they open books. They study grammar for hours. They try to remember difficult words. They force themselves to speak. But after all this effort, something is still missing. Something very important. They cannot understand real English when they hear it. And slowly, they start losing confidence. Why does this happen? Because they skipped listening. Now understand this deeply. Hearing and listening are not the same. Hearing is automatic. It just happens. You cannot stop it. If someone speaks near you, you will hear the sound. But listening is a skill. Listening needs effort. Listening needs attention. Listening needs patience. It is like training your mind to understand sound. Let me give you a simple picture. Imagine rain falling outside. You can hear the rain. That is hearing. But now imagine you close your eyes. You focus on the sound. You notice the rhythm. You notice how fast or slow it is. You feel it. That is listening. English is the same. When someone speaks English, you may hear the sound. But if your mind is not trained, you will not understand. The words will come and go. Fast. Unclear. Confusing. But when you start listening, your brain begins to slow things down. Your brain starts to recognize patterns. Your brain starts to understand. Now let me tell you a story. A simple story, but a powerful one. There was a boy named Bilal. Bilal wanted to learn English. He was serious. He was hardworking. Every day he studied grammar. He learned tenses. He memorized vocabulary. He filled notebooks with words and rules. He believed he was doing everything right. One day he decided to watch an English video. He felt excited. He thought, "Today I will understand everything." But when the video started, something unexpected happened. The speaker talked fast. The words were connected. The sentences were unclear. Bilal tried to listen, but his mind could not follow. After a few minutes, he stopped the video. He felt disappointed. He said, "My English is not good." But the truth was different. Bilal did not have a grammar problem. Bilal had a listening problem. That night, he thought deeply. He realized something important. He had trained his eyes to read. He had trained his hands to write. But he had never trained his ears to listen. The next day, he made a small decision. Not a big one, just a small one. He said, "I will listen every day." At first, it was not easy. He listened to short audios. He listened to simple English stories. But he did not understand much. Sometimes he understood only one or two words. Sometimes nothing at all. He felt frustrated. He felt like giving up. But this time, he did something different. He did not stop. He listened again, and again, and again. Days passed, then weeks passed. Slowly, very slowly, something began to change. The sounds that once felt strange started to feel familiar. Words that once felt confusing started to make sense. His ears were learning. His brain was adapting. This is the power of listening. Listening is not fast. Listening is not easy in the beginning. But listening is real learning. It builds your foundation. It prepares your mind. Now think about how children learn. A child listens for months before speaking. The child hears the same words again and again. The same sentences, the same sounds. Slowly, the child understands. Then one day, the child speaks. This is natural learning. You can follow the same path. But here is the truth many people do not tell you. Listening feels slow at the start. You may feel like you are not improving. You may feel like you are wasting time, but you are not. Something is happening inside your brain, quietly, powerfully. Your brain is building connections. Your brain is learning the music of English. Yes, English is like music. It has rhythm, it has stress, it has flow. Native speakers do not speak word by word. They connect words. They reduce sounds. They speak naturally. And the only way to understand this music is to listen. Now here is something very important. Do not try to understand every word. This is a trap. Many learners fall into this trap. They pause again and again. They translate every word. They feel tired. They lose interest. Instead, do this. Relax. Listen for the feeling. Listen for the main idea. Let your brain absorb the sound. Understanding will come slowly, but it will come. Let me take you back to Bilal. After some time, he tried watching the same video again. This time, something was different. He could understand some parts. Not everything, but something. And that something gave him hope. That something gave him confidence. He smiled. For the first time, he felt progress. This is how listening works. Small steps, small wins, big change. So now I ask you, what kind of learner do you want to be? The one who studies but feels stuck? Or the one who listens and grows every day? because the choice is yours. And here comes the most exciting part. In the next chapter, you will discover a secret that can change your speaking forever. You will learn how listening is directly connected to speaking. You will understand why some people speak naturally and confidently. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn next will make you see English in a completely new way. Chapter 2. Now get ready, because this chapter can change the way you see speaking forever. Many learners say the same thing. I understand a little, but I cannot speak. Or they say, I know words, but when I speak, nothing comes out. If this sounds like you, then listen carefully. The problem is not your speaking. The problem is your listening. Yes, this is the truth. Speaking does not start with your mouth. Speaking starts with your ears. Let me explain this in a very simple way. Imagine you want to sing a song. Can you sing it if you have never heard it before? No. First you listen. You listen again and again. You learn the tune. You learn the rhythm. Then you try to sing. Language works in the same way. If you want to speak English, you must first listen to English. But many learners do the opposite. They try to speak first. They force sentences. They translate from their own language. They speak slowly. They feel nervous. They make mistakes. Then they lose confidence. They think, I am not good at English. But the truth is different. They simply did not listen enough. Now think about children again. A child listens for a long time before speaking. The child hears the same words every day, the same sounds, the same sentences. Slowly, these sounds go inside the brain. They become natural. And then one day, the child starts speaking. Not perfect, but natural. This is the secret. Natural speaking comes from deep listening. Let me tell you a story. A simple story, but very important. There was a girl named Sana. Sana wanted to speak English fluently. She watched videos about speaking. She practiced sentences in front of the mirror. She tried to talk to people, but every time she spoke, she felt uncomfortable. Her sentences were not smooth. Her pronunciation was not clear. She stopped many times. She felt embarrassed. One day she asked her teacher, "Why can I not speak well?" The teacher asked her a simple question. "How much English do you listen to every day?" Sana thought for a moment. She said, "Very little." The teacher smiled and said, "That is the reason." The teacher gave her a simple plan. Do not focus on speaking for some time. Focus on listening. Listen every day. Listen carefully. Listen again and again. At first, Sana was confused. She wanted to speak, not just listen. But she trusted the process. She started listening to short conversations. She listened to English stories. She listened to the same audio again and again. In the beginning, it felt slow. She did not see big results, but she continued. After some weeks, something interesting happened. When she tried to speak, her words came more easily. Her sentences felt more natural. She did not stop again and again. Her pronunciation improved. She sounded better. Why did this happen? Because her ears trained her mouth. This is very important. Your mouth can only speak what your ears have learned. If you have not heard correct English, your speaking will not be correct. If you have not heard natural sentences, your speaking will not sound natural. Listening fills your mind with correct English. It gives you ready-made patterns. It shows you how real people speak. And when you speak, your brain uses these patterns. Now let me explain something deeper, but still simple. When you listen, your brain stores sound, not just words, but full sentences. For example, when you hear "How are you?" many times, it becomes automatic. You do not think. You just say it. This is called natural speaking. But if you learn word by word, your brain works slowly. You think, "How are you?" This is not natural. This is forced speaking. Listening removes this problem. Listening makes speaking faster. Listening makes speaking smoother. Listening makes speaking natural. Now here is something very exciting. When you listen regularly, you start copying without trying. You copy pronunciation. You copy tone. You copy rhythm. This is called imitation. And imitation is one of the most powerful ways to learn a language. Let me give you a simple practice. Listen to a short sentence. Pause. Repeat it. Try to copy the speaker. Do not worry about being perfect. Just try. This simple habit can change your speaking very fast. But remember one thing. Do not rush. Do not try to speak like a native speaker in one day. Give yourself time. Be patient. Progress will come. Now let us go back to Sana. One day she had a chance to speak with a new friend in English. This time something was different. She was not as nervous as before. She understood more. She replied more easily. She smiled while speaking. After the conversation, she felt proud. She realized something important. Listening changed my speaking. This is the moment every learner wants. And you can have this moment too. But here's the truth. Most people do not reach this moment. Why? Because they stop too early. They do not stay consistent. They do not trust the process. So now I ask you a question. Are you ready to trust the process? Are you ready to listen every day? Are you ready to let your ears guide your speaking? Because if you do this, your speaking will improve. Not slowly, but naturally. Not with pressure, but with ease. And now, get ready for something even more powerful. In the next chapter, you will discover how listening helps you understand real English. Fast English. Natural English. The English people use in real life. Stay with me, because the next chapter will remove your confusion. It will help you understand English in a way you never did before. Chapter 3. Now this is the chapter many learners are waiting for, because this is where everything starts to become clear. This is where confusion slowly turns into understanding. Let me ask you something very honestly. Have you ever listened to English and felt like it is too fast? Like people are speaking, but you cannot catch the words? Like everything is mixed together? If yes, then you are not alone. Almost every learner feels this, and today you will understand why. The problem is not that English is too fast. The problem is that your ears are not trained yet. Real English is not spoken word by word. Real English flows like water. Words connect, sounds change. Some words become soft, some words disappear. For a beginner, this feels like a big wall. But listen carefully. This wall is not permanent. You can break it. And the key is listening. Let me explain this in a very simple way. When you read English, everything is clear. Words are separate. Sentences are clean. You can take your time. But when you listen, everything is alive. Everything is moving. This is real language. And if you want to understand real English, you must train your ears for real sound. Now let me tell you a story. There was a student named Hamza. Hamza was good at reading English. He could understand stories. He could answer questions. He felt confident when he studied from books. But when he watched English movies, he felt lost, completely lost. The actors spoke fast. The words were connected. Sometimes he could not even hear where one word ended and another started. He felt frustrated. He thought, maybe I'm not good at English. But the truth was different. Hamza had a listening gap. One day, he decided to change his approach. Instead of only reading, he started listening. He chose simple videos. Very simple. At first, it was difficult. He understood very little. Sometimes only one word in a sentence. But he did something important. He did not stop. He listened again. And again. At first, everything sounded like noise. But slowly, the noise became sound. The sound became words. The words became meaning. This is the journey of listening. Now here is something very important you must understand. When you listen regularly, your brain starts predicting. Yes, predicting. It starts guessing what comes next. For example, if you hear "how are," your brain already knows "you" is coming. This makes listening easier. This makes understanding faster. This is why repetition is powerful. When you hear the same patterns again and again, they become familiar. And when they become familiar, they become easy. Now let us talk about accents. Many learners get scared of different accents. British, American, different voices, different speeds. At first it feels confusing, but listening helps here too. The more you listen, the more your brain becomes flexible. It starts understanding different styles of speaking. Slowly, you stop feeling afraid. Let me give you a simple truth. Confusion is part of learning. If you are confused, it means you are learning something new. Do not run away from confusion. Stay with it. Listen again. Give your brain time. Now let me take you back to Hamza. After some weeks of daily listening, he tried watching the same movie again. This time, something amazing happened. He could understand more. Not everything, but more than before. He smiled. He felt proud. He realized, I am improving. That small moment changed everything for him. He continued listening, day after day, week after week. His understanding became stronger. He was no longer scared of fast English. He started enjoying it. This is what happens when you stay consistent. Now here's a simple method you can follow. Listen to short audio. Do not choose something too difficult. Start easy. Listen once. Do not worry if you do not understand. Listen again. Try to catch a few words. Listen again. Slowly, your understanding will grow. Another powerful tip: use subtitles at the right time. First, listen without subtitles. Then listen with subtitles. This helps your brain connect sound and text. But do not depend on subtitles too much. The goal is to train your ears. Now let me say something very important. Do not compare yourself with others. Everyone learns at a different speed. Some people understand faster. Some people take more time. That is okay. What matters is your consistency. What matters is your effort. Remember this line: the more you listen, the more you understand. The more you understand, the more you enjoy. And the more you enjoy, the more you learn. Now imagine this. Imagine watching an English video and understanding most of it. Imagine listening to a conversation and feeling confident. Imagine not feeling lost anymore. This is possible. And it starts with listening. Now we are coming to a very exciting point. In the next chapter, you will discover something that makes learning even easier. You will learn how listening helps you build vocabulary naturally, without stress, without memorizing long lists. Stay with me, because the next chapter will show you a smarter way to learn words, a way that is simple, powerful, and enjoyable. Chapter 3. Now this is the moment where many learners start to see the truth. A simple truth. A powerful truth. If you cannot understand English, it is not because you are weak. It is because your ears are not trained yet. And the good news is, you can train them. Let me ask you something. Have you ever played an English video and felt lost in the first few seconds? The speaker starts talking, and suddenly everything feels fast. Words mix together. You try to catch something, but it slips away. You pause. You go back. You try again. Still confusing. If this has happened to you, then listen carefully. This is not failure. This is the beginning of learning. Real English is not slow. Real English is not perfect like your textbook. Real English is alive. It moves fast. It changes. Words connect. Sounds become soft. Sometimes letters disappear. For example, going to becomes gonna. Want to becomes wanna. Native speakers do this naturally. But for a learner, this feels like a puzzle. And here's the key. You do not solve this puzzle by reading. You solve it by listening. Let me tell you a story. A story you may see yourself in. There was a student named Usman. Usman loved English. He studied every day, he read books, He learned vocabulary. He could understand written English very well. When he read, everything was clear. He felt confident. One day, his friend invited him to watch an English movie. Usman was excited. He thought, "This will be easy." But when the movie started, something unexpected happened. The actors spoke fast. Their words were connected. Their tone changed quickly. Usman tried to follow, but he could not. After a few minutes, he stopped trying. He felt disappointed. He said to himself, "Why can I read, but not understand when I listen?" That question changed everything. Usman realized something important. Reading and listening are different skills. Reading trains your eyes. Listening trains your ears. And he had not trained his ears enough. So he decided to change. He did not start with difficult movies. No, he started simple, very simple. Short English clips, slow conversations, easy stories. At first, he understood very little. Sometimes only a few words. Sometimes nothing. But he did something powerful. He stayed consistent. He listened again, and again, and again. At first, everything sounded like noise. Just sound. No meaning. But slowly, something magical started to happen. The noise became clearer. The sounds became words. The words became sentences. And the sentences started to make sense. This is how listening works. Step by step. Slowly. Naturally. Now here's something very important you must understand. Your brain is smart. Very smart. When you listen regularly, your brain starts to recognize patterns. It starts to guess what comes next. For example, if you hear nice to, your brain quickly expects meet you. This is called prediction. And this makes listening easier. But prediction only works when you listen again and again. Now let us talk about speed. Many learners say, English is too fast. But the truth is, English is not too fast. It is just new to your ears. Think about your own language. When people speak fast, you still understand. Why? Because your ears are trained. You have heard those sounds your whole life. You can train your ears for English in the same way. Another important point is accents. Different people speak differently. Some speak fast, some speak slow. Some have strong accents. At first, this feels confusing. But do not worry. Listening makes your brain flexible. The more you listen, the more you understand different voices. Let me take you back to Usman. After some weeks of listening practice, he tried watching the same movie again. This time, something changed. He could understand more. Not everything, but more than before. He caught familiar phrases. He understood simple dialogues. He smiled. That smile was important. It was the smile of progress. He continued. Day after day, his understanding grew. Slowly, he stopped feeling afraid of fast English. He started enjoying it. He started feeling confident. And this can happen to you too. Now here's a simple method you can follow. Start with easy content. Listen without subtitles first. Do not worry if you do not understand. Then listen again with subtitles. Connect the sound with the words. Then listen again without subtitles. This cycle is very powerful. Also, repeat short parts. Listen to one sentence. Pause. Listen again. This helps your brain focus. This helps you catch details. But remember one thing. Do not rush. Do not expect instant results. Listening is like building a muscle. It takes time. It takes practice. But if you stay consistent, you will become stronger. Now let me tell you something very real. Many learners stop at this stage. They feel it is too hard. They feel slow. They quit. But those who continue, those who stay patient, they win. They reach a point where understanding becomes natural. So now I ask you, which one will you be? The one who stops or the one who continues? Because your future depends on this choice. And now get ready, because the next chapter will make your journey even easier. In the next chapter, you will discover how listening helps you learn new words without memorizing. Yes, without stress. Without long lists. You will learn vocabulary in a natural way. Stay with me. Because what you are about to learn next will save your time, your energy, and make your English learning more enjoyable than ever before. Chapter 4. Now get ready for something that can make your learning easier, faster, and more natural. Let me ask you a simple question. How do you learn new words? Do you write long lists? Do you try to memorize meanings again and again? Do you forget them after a few days? If yes, then you are not alone. Many learners feel this pain. They learn words today, and tomorrow those words are gone. But here is the truth. Vocabulary is not meant to be memorized like a machine. Vocabulary is meant to be experienced. And the best way to experience words is through listening. Yes, listening can build your vocabulary in a natural and powerful way. Let me explain this in a very simple way. When you learn a word from a book, you see only the meaning. Just one meaning. But when you listen, you hear the word in a sentence. You hear how it is used. You hear the tone. You hear the feeling. This gives you a full picture. And because of this, your brain remembers it better. Let me give you an example. Imagine you learn the word excited. You write it in your notebook. You write the meaning. You try to memorize it. But after some time, you forget it. Now imagine something different. You watch a video. Someone says, "I am so excited to see you." You hear the happiness in the voice. You feel the emotion. Then later, you hear the same word again in another video. And again. Slowly, this word becomes familiar. You do not need to memorize it. You already know it. This is natural learning. Now let me tell you a story. There was a student named Aisha. Aisha wanted to improve her English vocabulary. She worked very hard. She wrote hundreds of words in her notebook. Every day she tried to memorize them. But after a few days, she forgot most of them. She felt tired. She felt frustrated. She said, "Why is this so difficult?" One day, she decided to try something different. She started listening, not for hours, just for a short time every day. She listened to simple English stories. At first, she did not focus on new words. She just listened. Slowly, something interesting happened. She started noticing words, words that she had seen before, words that she had forgotten. But now they came back. Why? Because she heard them in real sentences. Day by day, her vocabulary started growing. Not with stress, not with pressure, but naturally. This is the power of listening. When you listen, you learn words in context. Context means the situation around the word. And context is very important because words do not live alone. Words live inside sentences. Words live inside meaning. Now here is something very important. When you hear the same word many times, your brain remembers it easily. This is called repetition. But this repetition is natural. You are not forcing it. You are not memorizing. You are just listening. Let me give you a simple idea. If you hear the phrase "take care" many times, you will start using it without thinking. If you hear "what do you mean?" again and again, it will become part of your speaking. This is how real learning happens. Now think about this. When you learn words from a list, you may know the meaning, but you do not know how to use them. But when you learn words through listening, you know how to use them. You know when to use them. You know how they sound. This is the difference between memorizing and understanding. Now let us go back to Aisha. After some weeks, she noticed a big change. When she listened to English, she understood more words. When she spoke, new words came naturally. She did not think too much. She did not translate. She just spoke. She felt happy. She felt confident. And this can happen to you too. But here's the key. You must stay consistent. Listening one day is not enough. Listening 2 days is not enough. You must listen every day, even for a short time. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That is enough to start. Now here is a simple method you can follow. Listen to easy content. Do not choose something too difficult. When you hear a new word, do not stop immediately. Try to understand from the sentence. Try to feel the meaning. If you still do not understand, then you can check the meaning later. This way, your learning stays smooth. Your learning stays enjoyable. Also, listen to the same content again. Repetition is your friend. The more you hear, the more you remember. Now listen carefully to this. Learning vocabulary does not have to be boring. It does not have to be stressful. It can be fun. It can be natural. And listening makes it possible. Now imagine this. Imagine understanding more words every day. Imagine using new words without fear. Imagine speaking with more confidence. This is not a dream. This is a result of consistent listening. And now we are coming to a very important moment. In the next chapter, you will discover how listening builds your confidence, not just in learning, but in speaking, understanding, and expressing yourself. You will learn how fear slowly disappears and confidence takes its place. Stay with me, because the next chapter is not just about English. It is about believing in yourself. It is about growing stronger every day. Chapter 5. Now this chapter is very special because this is where everything becomes personal. This is where your fear, your confidence, and your mindset come together. Let me ask you something honestly. When you think about speaking English, what do you feel? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel shy? Do you feel afraid of making mistakes? If yes, then you are not alone. Almost every learner feels this at some point. But here's the truth. Confidence does not come from knowing everything. Confidence comes from feeling comfortable, and listening is the key to that comfort. Yes, listening can remove your fear. Let me explain this in a very simple way. Fear comes from the unknown. When something feels new, your mind becomes uncomfortable. When you hear English and do not understand it, your brain feels stress. It says, "This is difficult, this is scary." And slowly, you start avoiding it. But when you listen again and again, something changes. The sounds become familiar. The words become clear. The language feels less strange. And when something feels familiar, fear starts to disappear. This is how confidence begins. Let me tell you a story. A story you may feel very close to. There was a boy named Imran. Imran wanted to speak English, but he was very shy. In his class, he never raised his hand. When the teacher asked him to speak, his voice became weak. His heart started beating fast. He was afraid of making mistakes. He was afraid of what others would think. Every day he told himself, "I will speak tomorrow." But tomorrow never came. One day his teacher gave him simple advice. The teacher said, "Do not force yourself to speak. First, learn to listen." At first, Imran did not understand. He thought speaking practice was more important. But still, he decided to try. He started listening to English every day, not for hours, just for a short time. He listened to simple stories. He listened to conversations. At first, he did not understand much. But slowly, things started to change. The voices that once felt strange started to feel normal. The sentences that once felt difficult started to feel easy. He began to understand more. And something interesting happened. His fear started to become smaller. Now, when he heard English, he did not panic. He stayed calm. He listened carefully. He felt more comfortable. After some weeks, his teacher asked him to speak again. This time, Imran was still a little nervous, but not like before. He spoke slowly. He made mistakes, but he did not stop. And when he finished, he smiled. That smile was not because he was perfect. That smile was because he was confident. This is the power of listening. Listening builds confidence step by step. It does not push you, it prepares you. It gives your brain time to understand. It gives your heart time to relax. Now let me tell you something very important. You do not need to be perfect to be confident. Many learners wait for the perfect moment. They say, I will speak when my English is perfect. But that moment never comes. Confidence comes from action, and listening makes that action easier. When you listen regularly, your brain collects sentences. It stores patterns. It remembers sounds. So when you speak, you are not starting from zero. You already have something inside you. This reduces fear. Now imagine this. You listen to English every day. Slowly, you start understanding more. Then one day, someone speaks to you in English. Instead of feeling scared, you feel ready. You understand the question. You reply with simple words. It may not be perfect, but it is real. This moment is powerful. This moment changes everything. Now here is something very important. Do not be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are not your enemy. Mistakes are your teacher. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. And listening helps you correct those mistakes naturally. When you listen, you hear the correct way of speaking. Your brain compares it with your own speaking. Slowly, you improve. This is natural correction. Now, let us go back to Imran. After some time, he was no longer the shy boy in class. He started participating. He started answering questions. He even helped his friends. Not because he was perfect, but because he was confident. And his confidence came from listening. Now I want you to think about yourself. Imagine a version of you who is not afraid. Imagine a version of you who understands English and speaks with ease. That version is possible. And the path to that version is simple. Listen, every day, even if it is for a short time, even if it feels slow. Keep going. Because confidence is not built in one day. It is built step by step. Now we are very close to the end of this journey. But the most important part is still coming. In the next chapter, you will learn exactly what to do every day. Simple steps, easy habits, a clear plan that you can follow without confusion. Stay with me, because the final chapter will give you direction. It will give you clarity, and it will help you turn everything you learned into real action. Chapter 6. This is the final chapter. But in reality, this is your beginning. A new beginning. A clear beginning. A powerful beginning. Up to now, you have learned why listening is important. You have seen how it improves your speaking, your understanding, your vocabulary, and your confidence. But now one question remains. What should you do every day? Do not worry. I will make it very simple for you. Let me ask you something first. Have you ever felt confused about where to start? Have you ever said, I want to learn English, but I do not know how? If yes, then this chapter will give you a clear path. No confusion, no stress, just simple steps. Step 1. Start small, very small. Do not try to listen for hours. That will make you tired. That will make you quit. Instead, Listen for 10 minutes a day. Yes, just 10 minutes. But listen every day. Consistency is more important than time. Step 2. Choose easy content. This is very important. If you choose something too difficult, you will feel lost. You will feel frustrated. So start with simple English, short stories, basic conversations, slow videos. When it feels easy, you can slowly move to harder content. Step 3. Listen more than once. Do not listen only one time. Listen again and again. The first time, you may not understand much. That is okay. The second time, you will understand more. The third time, even more. This repetition is powerful. Step 4. Do not try to understand every word. This is a common mistake. If you stop at every word, you will lose the flow. Instead, listen for the main idea. Listen for the feeling. Let your brain relax. Understanding will grow naturally. Step 5. Repeat what you hear. This is very important. Listen to a sentence. Pause. Repeat it. Try to copy the speaker. Copy the tone. Copy the rhythm. This will improve your speaking without pressure. Now let me tell you a story. A final story. A story that can inspire you. There was a young boy named Zane. Zayn wanted to learn English, but he always felt confused. He tried many things. He started, then stopped. Started again, then stopped again. He felt like he was going in circles. One day, he made a simple decision. He said, "I will not make it complicated. I will just listen every day." He started with 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. He chose easy videos. At first, it felt slow. He did not understand much, but he remembered something important. He remembered to stay consistent. Day 1 passed, then day 2, then day 10, then day 30. Something started to change. The sounds became familiar. The words became clear. The sentences made sense. Zayn was not forcing himself. He was enjoying the process. After some time, he noticed something amazing. When he spoke, words came naturally. When he listened, he understood more. When he watched videos, he felt confident. He smiled. He realized something powerful. I did not change everything. I just changed one habit. I started listening. And that one habit changed his life. Now listen carefully to this. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need expensive courses. You do not need to be a genius. You only need one thing: consistency. If you listen every day, even for a short time, you will improve. Slowly, naturally, powerfully. But here is something very important. Do not wait for motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel excited. Some days you feel lazy. This is normal. Do not depend on motivation. Depend on discipline. Make listening a habit, just like brushing your teeth. You do it every day, not because you feel excited, but because it is part of your life. Make listening part of your daily life. Now imagine your future. Imagine understanding English without stress. Imagine speaking with confidence. Imagine watching movies and enjoying them. Imagine connecting with people from different countries. This future is not far away. It starts with one simple step: listening. Now I want to say something from the heart. You can do this. Yes, you. No matter where you are, no matter how your English is right now, you can improve, you can grow, you can succeed. Just start. Start today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Even 5 minutes is enough to begin, because small steps create big change. And now, as we come to the end, remember this message. Listening is not just a skill. It is your foundation. It is your power. It is your path to success in English. So take that step. Put on your headphones, play that audio, and begin your journey. I will see you on the other side.